New Comic Book Day is right around the corner, but it's never too late to think about next week's comic books. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you the return of my top 10 most anticipated comic books, and this is for the week of August 14th, 2019. That's right, fans, a lot of cool books coming out. Obviously, this is the video series where each and every week I show you, the fans, which books are coming out a week ahead of time so you can plan nice and early for which books you want to buy. That's right, fans. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into the book that's on the hot seat. That's right. This week, my hot seat comic book goes to Detective Comics. All right, this is issue 1009. The price point of this book goes for $3.99. This title is known as Take Your Shot, as it begins a story that has to deal with Deadshot. He's coming back from Gotham City following a long stint with the Suicide Squad. Now, when it comes to Detective Comics, this series has been a little bit disappointing for me since we got over the hump of 1000. We had Arkham Knight, and then after that storyline with the Spectre, it kind of fell flat. I felt like the last issue was a little bit fillerish with the Joker, and then now we got this Dr. Freeze story. So obviously I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to see what it's about, but this one could be a little disappointing for me, and I might consider actually dropping it, as DC has been a kind of a disappointment for me this year. So without further ado, guys, without wasting any more time, now we're going to get right into the actual countdown, now beginning with number 10. And number 10 is, and this might surprise you, Gwenpool Strikes Back. This is issue 1. Pool's out for the summer. That's what it says in the description. And I'm curious to see what Gwenpool has to offer for this particular series. I think maybe for a lot of fans, this could be an okay thing. I think Gwenpool is good in small doses. I think that at times she can be overbearing, but some people might really like the character. And I really liked her in West Coast Avengers, and she had Jeff the Land Shark that was introduced in that series as well. And if you look at this cover here, you get to see Jeff the Land Shark is on the cover, and maybe he'll actually be in the series as well. I don't know, but the whole thing is that Spider-Man's going to be in this comic book as well. So I'm looking forward to it, seeing what it has to offer, and we'll see if I go forward with it after I read issue 1. All right. So next on the list, coming in at number 9, is Loki issue 2. Now, this book is $3.99. I thought that the first issue was pretty solid. It had some comical moments in it. Loki has he is like the king of the frost giants, but he finds himself bored at the throne, and he tries to have other people, fill in when he's not there. Like, he put together this abominable snow creature to take care of all these problems and stuff like that. I thought it was comical. It ended in kind of a weird way, but it was a good book. And here it says, escape from Stark Unlimited. Restless with his new duties after the War of the Realms, Loki seeks out the advice of the closest thing Earth has to a king, and that is Tony Stark. So Tony Stark will be guest starring in this particular book. So again, curious to see the direction of this book. This is another one that could be on the potential hot seat for me if the story doesn't continue to be strong. So that is Loki issue 2, and that was number 9. So let's move on to number 8, and this one goes to The Prodigal Son. This is Silver Surfer. These are all one-shots, as it has to do with this particular story that's 2 of 3 parts. And this book is $4.99. The story is a little longer, but we got introduced to this character by the name of Prodigal, and he stole a ship from the Fantastic Four, and now he was left lurking around in space after the Fantastic Four tricked him. I think he's like some kind of internal or something like that. So here, the only one that can help this prodigal son is actually Silver Surfer. So I guess we're going to learn a little bit more of the history here and whatnot. So this will be curious also to see what this story has in store for its readers, as there's only going to be one more part of this, and I'm not sure where it takes place after this, but I really bought this book mainly because, or I'm buying this book because mainly it has Silver Surfer in it. I'm a huge fan of the character, always looking for great stories that has to do with him in it. All right, so moving on. Number 7. This goes to Transformers 84 issue 0. So this takes place before the issue number 1 of the Marvel Comics series, celebrating 35 years of the Transformers, and that's what I'm looking forward to. The cover of this book is really awesome, as it has Megatron and Optimus Prime on there. I think they look badass to see them doing this battle, and if you're a 90s, or I'm sorry, if you're an 80s kid, obviously you're a fan of the Transformers like I was. This is something that you're going to want to pick up, and it's $5. So be ready to spend $5 for this book. But again, if you're a huge Transformers fan, you might be a fan of this one. All right, so moving on to number 6. And number 6 goes to The Amazing Spider-Man issue 27. Priced at $3.99. There's a new sinister syndicate in town, which consists of the Beetle, the Electro, Lady Octopus, Scorpia, and White Rabbit. And they've come together for no reason but to hunt down Boomerang and I guess his roommate as well. So you got introduced to them in the last issue. I didn't feel like it was the strongest story, and I feel like this is kind of a filler story arc between what's going on with Kindred and the whole Spider-Man Hunted storyline. But this makes for an interesting story because you also have these female characters in here that make an all-female Sinister team, which I don't know if we've really seen that before, but I think it's kind of cool, and we'll see where it goes. So that's why it kind of fell middle ground for me, because not the most exciting story, but it could be a lot of fun too. All right, so moving on to number 5. And number 5, it goes to Absolute Carnage. This is Scream issue 1, and this is the return of a classic symbiote, and it will be a Scream. It says, years ago, Patricia Robertson was unwillingly bonded to the clone of Venom that eventually became Mania. So I guess maybe we get to see more of this particular female, which we haven't seen in a long time. I know I have the first appearance of the character in Lethal Protector in the Venom series, and I want to know more about her. I want to see more of her. What's her role in this whole Absolute Carnage thing? Is she going to get the symbiote stolen from her? I don't know, but I think this could be a fun story. Again, at least it's not $5. This one's only $3.99, so you might want to check this one out. All right, so moving on to number 4. And number 4 goes to Separation Anxiety, issue 1. This is another Absolute Carnage tie-in. And I want to know, how many of these Carnage tie-ins are you guys actually getting out there, right? Now, this one is $4.99, so you can expect more pages out of this book. It says, since the conclusion of Deadpool vs. Carnage, 4 of the 5 Life Foundation symbiotes, Riot, Paige, Agony, and Lasher, have been bonded to a stray dog wandering in the Midwest. So what's going to happen here? Carnage going to be looking for him to try to get their symbiote so he can obviously get one step closer to resurrecting Null. That's obviously what's probably going to happen here. I think this is a cool series. It's going to be a lot of fun. Whether I get all of these 2. I think it just depends on the week. There's a lot of them, but I am a sucker for Carnage. I'm a sucker for Venom, and I'm a sucker for Spider-Man. You can see it back there. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's move on to our top 3. So our number 3 goes to Silver Surfer Black, issue 3. This has been a great series, also written by Donny Cates. It has Silver Surfer actually doing battle against Null in here. And what's slowly happening is he's slowly using his cosmic energy to try to defeat Null, and he's becoming black. He's just losing all of that power. Again, this kind of ties into Donny Cates' Thanos run on how Silver Surfer became black, and you're getting to see that in this particular issue. And again, the description here says the Surfer's power is fading and is the end of Norman Rad as the all-consuming darkness descends upon him, or will help come in form of an uninspected ally. So I think this has been a great series. Now, I know people are turned off by the artwork a little bit in here, but I think it's unique, it's different, it kind of fits a cosmic universe type of book, and I love it. This is the best Silver Surfer series that I have read in quite a long time. All right, so moving on to number 2. And number 2 goes to Symbiote Spider-Man. This is issue 5, as we get to see a symbiote Spider-Man do battle against a symbiote Mysterio. Whoever wins gets all the symbiote, right? That's the way it's looking in this. Mysterio has a small sliver of the black suit, and he wants all of it so he can have all that power from himself. And can you imagine an all-powerful Mysterio? Now, there's a lot of stuff going on with Venoms, Carnages, Symbiotes in this countdown this week. But again, I'm a huge fan of it. I'm very curious to see how this series actually concludes. And is this going to actually be canon? Is this going to tie into the Absolute Carnage storyline? Because now at one point Mysterio also had a symbiote. So it's like, you had a symbiote, you had a symbiote, you had a symbiote, and it's just insane. So I'm really looking forward to this, and obviously the beginning of the end of the relationship of Black Cat and Spider-Man. Alright, so now we're coming down to that all-important number 1 most anticipated comic of the week for me, coming out on August 14th. And this one, you might be surprised, is Powers of X issue 2. This book is priced at $4.99, and it says, as Xavier sows the seeds of the past, the X-Men's future blossoms into trouble for all mutants. Okay, so this one was kind of cool. I liked Powers of X. I liked learning about these new hybrid or mass-produced mutants. That's how we got Rasputin, a brand new mutant character. And I feel like that this side of the story is a little bit more emotional, where the other story, House of X, was a little bit more world building. However, I don't know what goes on yet at this time with House of X, so maybe the story is a little bit more character driven in issue number 2. I don't know yet by the time this recording happens, but I'm looking forward to it. I think that this story Hickman has in store for us is going to be a great story, and you're just going to get to see clues and hints, and then by the time we get to the end of this, it's all going to come together, and you're going to be like, wow, that was a pretty epic story. Even though there's a lot of craziness going on, I think this is something different for the fans, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So guys, there you have it. There are my top 10 most anticipated comics of the week for August 14th, 2019. Now, hopefully this video will help you make decisions on what comics to buy, and if it did, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that all-important notification button and tell me which books you're most excited to buy in that week. And guys, until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye.